Hi, I'm Anita. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be making a pair of Petit Trapeze Earrings. This is a design by a lady named Kassie Shaw from her book titled Bead Weaving Beyond the Basics. So here's a glimpse of some of the materials you're going to be needing today. I'll have a exact description and count of what you'll need in the description box below this video. If you click more, it'll give you all the details on where you can find some of these materials and what's needed today. So we're going to be using 15-0 seed beads in 3 colors. I've got them in a sort of a purple iris, galvanized silver, and Capri Blue. You're going to be needing some 3mm Bicone crystals, some SuperDuos, and these are a matte metallic silver. You're also going to need some dagger beads, and it doesn't matter, you can use single hole or 2-hole dagger beads for this pattern. I also have a pair of leverback earrings, a couple of wire guardians. These are in bronze. You can use whatever color you want. I'm using a size 12 beading needle, 6-pound fireline, a pair of scissors, and flat nose pliers. And you're going to need about 4 feet for each earring, total of 8 feet of fireline. So let's clear our area and we'll get started. So to begin, you're going to need to thread your needle with about 4 feet of fireline. And you're going to start by placing 4 15-0s in our first color here. So let me tell you what we have. This is color A. It's kind of a purple iris color. Color B is galvanized silver. Color C is Capri Blue. So that's how I'm going to identify which bead I'm putting on. Section A, B, or C. So we're starting out with color A, which is going to be in the center. And we're going to put these into a square. So I'm going to bring my needle back through. This is my tail thread, and you're going to leave about a 6-inch tail. So I'm going to bring my needle back through the first 15-0 we put on, like that. Pull your thread. Bring that together. You're going to have a little diamond shape or square. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go all the way around the beads to reinforce. So just bring your thread back through all the beads again. So I'm back where my tail thread is, and I'm going to go a couple of more beads to get away from where those meet. Kind of hard to see because this is super tiny. So I'm going to come down one more bead right here. So there's my tail thread coming out on this side, and I'm coming out directly opposite of that. So now that I've got my center square color A, I'm going to be picking up color B. So that's going to be my galvanized silver. So I'm going to put color B in between these 2 beads right here by going into the next 15-0. I'm going to do that again. Pick up another color B, exiting here, going into the next 15-0, like that. I'm going to pick up another silver, going in through the next 15-0 right here. And I'm going to do that one more time. Pick up another silver, and I'm going in through this next 15-0, and I'm also going to go through the first color B that I added. So you can't do that in one step. You can do that by going one bead at a time. So now I'm going to go through color B. This is where I left off, right there. So that's what you should have so far. Your center square is the first color, and your outer square is color B, which is in galvanized silver. So the pattern that we're working on to make these earrings is called double diamond right angle weave, or the abbreviation is DDRAW. And we're going to be doing 2 rows of this right angle weave design. So we'll go on to the next step. So our working thread is coming out of this 50 right here. We're going to pick up 4 more 50 in color A. So we're going to put 4 of these on our needle, like that. Bring that down. And we're going to go back through the first bead we added in the opposite direction of where the thread is coming out of, like that. Pull your thread, and we're adding another square. And what you want to do is make sure that that square is right up against your work, so just kind of pull that up. As close as you can. These are really small beads. Now you could make these with 11-0s, but the objective is to make these a little daintier style in the 15-0 seed beads. So now that I've added those 4 15-0s, I'm going to add color B in between the next 2 violet beads or purple beads. So I'm picking up a silver now, exiting this 15-0, and going in through the next one in our thread path, like that. And I'm going to do that 2 more times because we have, this counts as our 4th bead that we're sharing here. So I'm going to pick up another silver, exiting here, going into this next 15-0. Right there. Let's hold that together and pull. Now I'm going to pick up another silver. That's my 3rd one. Exiting here, and I'm going into this next 15-0 here. Then I'm going to go into the silver that is connecting us. That's our connector right there. So going in through that violet, purple, and then the silver connector. Pull. And that completes your 2nd square. So now we're going to advance our needle through these next 2 beads here, all right, that's in the thread path, and then I'm going to go through these next 2 beads here. I want to be exiting right here. Just rotate as you need to advance your needle. That's where I want to be, right there. So now we're going to repeat that step. Again, we're going to pick up 4 of color A, my purple iris, like that. Bring those down. Go back through the first bead we added in the opposite direction of where the thread is. Right here. And just make sure that that is right up against your work. What I usually do is pinch and hold my fingernail over that, or best as you can your finger, and then pull, and that's going to butt that up right next to your work, like that. Looks a little messy, but it'll look more crisp after we add our 2nd row. So now we're going to add our silver beads in between each purple set of purples, so that we're going to do that 3 times. Pick up the silver, going through this next one, and this is double diamond right angle weave. If it gets twisted around, just straighten it out. Pick up your next silver, going through the next purple. Pick up 1 more silver. Now we're going to go through the next purple, and through the connecting silver right there. So there's our third one. So now we're going to advance through these 2 beads and through these next 2 beads. Like that. If your tail thread gets caught in there, just pull that out. So that's what you have. So we're going to pick up 4 purple. I'll do one more with you. Bring that down. Go back through the first bead in the opposite direction of the thread. So that's going to be right here. Like that. So hold that close to your work. Pull. Now pick up color B, your silver. We're going to do this 3 times. Go through the next purple bead. Pick up another silver. Go through the next purple bead. Pick up one more silver. Go through the next purple bead and the connecting silver bead, like that. So now we have 4 little diamonds. Advance your needle through the next 4 beads. So you're coming out here, and you're going to repeat 4 more of these till you have a total of 8. So go ahead and continue in that manner. Make 4 more, and I'll meet you back when we get to the last square. Okay, I'm coming down to my last square. I've got 7 on here so far, so I'm doing the 8th one. I've picked up my 4 color A, bringing that down, going in through the first color A I added in the opposite direction. Adding color B, which is silver, 3 times in between each purple bead. There's 1. There's 2. And there's 3. Going in through this purple bead and then through the silver connector right here. Now I want to advance my needle, so I'm coming out of this bottom silver right here. That's where we're going to stop, because we're going to add another row of squares attached to this. So I'm going to advance through these next 2 beads like that. And that's where you want your thread exiting before we go on to the next step. For our next step, we're picking up 4 of our color A in purple. Going to bring that down. And we're going in through the opposite direction of where our thread is coming out of, that first purple bead, which is right here. Just make sure that it's right up against your work, like that. And we're going to pick up a silver, like we did with our last square, going through the next purple bead, Going to do that 2 more times. Pick up a silver. Go in through the next purple bead. And pick up 1 more silver. And go through the next purple bead. And the connector bead, which is at the bottom, right here. Like that. Pull that. That's what you should have. So now we're going to advance our needle through these next 2 beads. We want to be facing this way. So I'm going to turn my work around so that I can achieve that. So I'm just going to come down through these next 2 beads right here. So this is what it should look like. We've got our second row started here, and our thread is coming out of this left side silver bead, going in this direction. And then we'll go on to the next step. For our next step, we're going to pick up 4 of color A, which is the purple. We're going to bring that down. And go through the opposite side of where our first purple bead is coming out of. Right there. Pull your thread and just bring that up close. Kind of tricky getting that right up against there, but just pull, scooch it up. If you need to, we'll push that up a little more, pull again. So that's what we have so far. So right now our thread is coming out of this purple bead here. We're going to add a silver. Exiting here, we're going in through this next purple bead here. We're going to pick up 1 more silver bead. Exiting here, going in through this next seed bead here. So now we're going to connect to this bead here. So when we're doing our diamonds coming back, you're only going to need to add silver twice. So from here, we're coming out of this purple bead here. We're going to come in through the silver bead that's closest to, that's sticking out, which is this one right here. Pull your thread, and that's going to bring that up like that. And now we want to go through this purple bead right here. Like that. Pull. And that's going to bring that second square together. So now from here, we're going to come down that connector silver bead right here. So that's where I want my needle to come down, right there. So from here, we're going to go through the next 2 beads here, and then up these 2, because we want our thread coming back out of this side silver bead right there. So I'm going to advance my thread through these 2 beads here. And now I'm going to advance through these next 2. Like that. Pull my thread. So now I'm set up ready to connect my next square. Okay, for our next step, we're going to pick up 4 more of our purple, color A. Bring that down. And we're going in through the opposite direction of where your first purple bead was that you added, like that. Pull your thread. You're always going to be adding 4 each time you start a new square, but from here on out, you only need to add the silver twice. So what we're going to do now is we're going to follow our thread path. So right now our thread is coming out here, so we're going to advance to the silver bead that's closest to us, which is this one sticking out. We're going to bring our needle through that silver bead. So depending what direction you're going, you're either going to be going through the connector first or adding 2 silver beads first. So in this direction, we're connecting here, and now we're going to go through this next purple bead here. Let me turn this around. So I'm coming out of this silver bead, and I came through this purple here through the silver bead connector, and now I'm going to go through the next purple bead to join these together like that. And that's going to place the silver bead in between those 2 purple off the square. Now I'm going to add a silver bead here and here. So pick up a silver, go through the next purple bead, pick up another silver, and we're going to go through the next purple bead and the silver bead that's connecting right next to us right here. That's where you want your needle to go through. Pull your thread. And now that we've added our 2 silver beads, we've got our new square completed. So from here, we're going to advance our needle through the next 4 beads. Through here, and we want to come out the side bead going in this direction. So I'm going to advance my needle through these next 2. That's kind of hard to see, but right there, pull your thread, I'm going to turn my work, and I want to advance through these next 2 right here, and I'm ready to do my next square. So let me do 1 more with you, and then I'll send you on your way. So we're going to pick up 4 purples. Bring that down to your work. Go through that first purple in the opposite direction where your thread is coming out of, like that. Pull your thread. And just make sure that's up close to your work. Now that our 4 beads have been added, we're going to pick up our silver bead, add 1 here, and then we're going to connect. So we're picking up a silver bead, exiting this purple bead, going in through the next purple bead right here. Pull your thread, pick up another silver bead, go through this next purple bead, pull your thread. Now we're going to connect. We're exiting the purple bead down here. We're going in through this silver bead that's sticking out right here. Pull your thread. Now you want to go through this next purple bead right here to finish the connection. And then we're going to also go through the silver bead right here. And that completes your connection. So I'm going to turn this around, and I'm going to advance my needle through the next 4 beads. So just follow the thread path coming down through these two, like that, and then through these two to get you ready for your next square. So we're going to continue adding all the way across. You need to do this 4 more times. So if you need to rewind the video, go right ahead, and I'll meet you back when we get to this last square. Okay, we're coming down to the last square to add on our second row. I've got my 4 15-0s of color A in the purple. I'm going to bring my needle back through that first purple, going in the opposite direction, like that. And I'm going to pull my thread. Get that close. Now with my thread coming out of this purple bead here, I'm going to connect to the closest silver bead right there. Pull my thread. Now I'm going to bring my needle down through the next purple bead to complete the connection before I add my next 2 silver. So it should be going through right here. Like that. Now I'm going to pick up a silver, go through the next purple bead, pull my thread, pick up 1 more silver, go through the next purple bead, and through this next silver bead here. Pull your thread, and that's going to complete that square. So now I'm going to advance my needle, and I want my thread coming out of this bead here, but going towards my work. So from here, I'm going to advance my thread up through these 2 beads here. I want to change direction, so I'm going to advance so that I can bring my thread around. I want my working thread becoming this way, facing my work. So I'm just going to follow my thread path like this, going through these beads. And if you need a flat nose, pull your needle through. Now I'm going to go through these 2 beads, like that. And I'm going to come around these next 2, like that. Through this bead, right here. And now I want to advance through this silver bead right here so that I'm facing this direction. So this is where I want my thread coming out of. Now we have this tail thread sticking out here. I'm just going to pack this on a needle and weave it through. So we'll go ahead and do that to get it out of the way. So this is my tail thread. I'm just going to, coming out here, I'm just going to advance through my beads here. It doesn't matter which direction you go, you just want to move it out of the way. I'm just going to come down through this silver bead here. And we'll go ahead and snip it off right here. So now that our thread is coming out of our center bead here, what we're going to do is we're going to fold this in half, like that. So you want those 15-ohs down the center like this with your working thread on this side. So what we're going to do next is we're going to be adding our bicones and our dagger beads. So now that I have this folded in half, I'm going to pick up one of my bicone crystals, 3mm. I'm exiting this bead right here, and I'm going in through the next 15-oh, the next silver bead that's sticking out right there, like that. Pull your thread, it's going to place that bicone in between those two silvers. So I'm going to pick up another bicone, exiting that silver, going into this next silver, like that. Pull, that's what you should have. Now we're going to pick up 5 dagger beads. So when you pick up your dagger beads, depending what you're using, these are kind of a crystal AB, and if you notice, one side has the smooth finish, and then this side you can see the holes, so that's considered the back side. So when you're putting these on, you want to make sure they're all oriented the same direction. So I want to make sure that they're all facing this way. So I'm picking up all 5, threading those on my needle, like so, making sure they're all facing the same direction. So I've got all 5 dagger beads on, like that. I'm going to pull those down, like that. So from here, we're going to skip these next 2 silver beads. So we're coming out here, we're going to skip 1, skip 2, and we're going to go in through this silver bead here. Pull your thread, and pull that tight, and that's going to position the dagger beads like this underneath. So now we're going to pick up another 3mm bicone, exiting this silver bead, going in through this next silver bead, right here. Pull your thread, nice and tight, and that's going to cause it to curve a little bit. That's what you want. Now pick up your next bicone, exiting this silver bead, going in through this next silver bead, like that. Pull your thread. Nice and snug. That's what you should have. So from here, we want to advance our needle through these next 2 beads right here. This purple and the silver bead on the outside. So we're just going to come up through there. Like that. So from here, we're going to advance. I just flipped my work over, and I'm going to advance through the next 2 beads. Right here. Like that. So here's where we are next. And what I'm going to be doing for our next step is we're adding our SuperDuos. So let me grab those. So you're going to need 7 SuperDuos. And the thing I want to mention about the SuperDuo beads, always check your holes to make sure you don't have any clogged. I'll show you an example of one I ran across where it looks like there's a 2-hole here, but if you flip it over, you'll see that the other one was blocked. See that? Where that didn't totally drill through, although it looks like there's 2 holes on one side, it's not all the way drilled. So be careful with your SuperDuos, because that can happen and you don't want to have to back out of your work. All right, so from here we're going to be putting a SuperDuo in between each of these gaps. So it doesn't matter which way you pick it up. So just pick up your SuperDuo, and then go through the next, from this silver bead, you're going to go into this next silver bead like that. Pull that nice and tight. Grab another superduo and repeat. Go through the next hole, the next silver bead right here. Pull. And that's just going to place that superduo on the center like that. So repeat, go all the way across. Pick up another superduo, going through this next silver bead. Pick up another superduo, exiting here, going into this silver bead right here. Now I'm going to pick up my next one, exiting here, going in through this next silver bead right here. Pick up one more, exiting here, going in through this next silver bead here. And just kind of pull. These are going to eventually curve together. And this is my last superduo, exiting here, going in through this silver bead right here at the end. Pull your work nice and tight. So from here, I'm going to turn my work over. I'm exiting the silver bead here. I'm going to come down through these next two like that. Now I'm going to come through the 3 beads on the left here like that to get my needle in position for the other side. Just pull that nice and tight. So from here, I'm going to go through the empty hole of the superduo right here. Then I'm going to bring my needle through the silver bead that's next in line, that's sticking up right here. And that's going to pull that superduo down against your work, like that. So we're exiting the silver bead, going through the empty hole of the next superduo in line, like that. Now bring your needle through the next silver bead in line, just the silver bead, like that. And that will pull your next superduo down. Do that one more time, and you're just going to repeat that all the way across. Go through the next superduo, empty hole, and then down through the silver bead right after it, right there. Pull, and that anchors those down like that, so they're not flopping around, they'll be right up against your work. So go ahead and repeat that step for the rest of the superduos across, and then we'll go on to the next step. All right, I'm coming down to the last superduo. My thread's coming out here, going in through the empty hole of the last superduo, like that. Pull your thread. I'm going through the last silver 50 now sticking up here after that superduo, like that. Pull and bring that superduo down, like that. And that completes closing off your superduos. So now I'm coming out of this 15-0 here. I'm going to advance my needle down through these next 2 beads right here. Get this out of the way. So your needle should be coming out of these 2 15-0s here at the end. Pull your thread, and now advance back through these. From here, you're going into this next 15-0 right here, just that one at the end. See if I can get that to focus. Right there. So that sets us up for the next step. That's where your thread should be coming out of, right here at the end. Okay, so from here we're going to do our little trapeze ropes coming up. So we're going to start by picking up our color C, which is the Capri Blue. So pick one of those up. Then we're going to pick up color A, which is the purple. Then color B, which is the silver. And then color A. So this is the sequence that we have. Capri Blue, purple, silver, purple. We're going to do that a total of 5 times. So I'm going to pick up Capri, purple, silver, and purple. That's 2. Capri, purple, silver, and purple. That's 3. Capri, purple, silver, purple. That's 4. Capri Blue, purple, silver, and purple. And that's 5. So bring that down. Now you can make them a little longer if you want them longer, but this will end up being about 2-inch earrings. So there's the sequence of the colors 5 times. Now I'm going to put my wire guardian on. Bring my thread through. Bring that down. And I'm also going to put my earring finding on. Now I want to make sure that I'm putting this on the correct way. This is my front side, so I'm going to put my earring finding on like this. So I'm going to go ahead and set that down. I'm going to thread my needle through. And you could put this on after the fact, but I'm going to go ahead and put it on like that, so that my earring finding is on my wire guardian. That's one less step. Okay, so from here I'm going to come down the wire guardian on the other side, pull my thread, make sure it's going down that channel. Now I'm going to add the other side of my rope. So from here I'm going to pick up color A, purple, color C, Capri Blue, then color A, purple, and then color B. So we're going to do that 5 times. Purple, Capri, purple, silver. So I'm picking up purple, Capri, purple, and silver. Again, purple, Capri, purple, and silver. That's 3. Purple, Capri, purple, silver. That's 4. Purple, Capri, purple, and silver. That's 5 times. So we're going to bring that down to our work like that. And we're going to connect. So our first connection was on the silver seed bead on this side. So we're going to go through our silver bead on top right here. Like that. Bring that down. So this is what you should have so far. We're coming out of this silver bead here at the end. We're going to go in through the silver bead directly across. Right here, if I can get my needle through. Like that. Pull your thread. And now we're going to go back up through these beads here. So this is where my rope starts. I'm going to bring my needle back up through all of these beads, starting here, and just make sure that you don't miss any. like that. Pull your thread. Keep that nice and snug. Now I'm going to go up through all the beads, the wire guardian, my earring finding, like that. Pull. Come down the other side of my wire guardian, and then down through all the beads, like that. Pull. And I'm reinforcing this 2 times. You can do it more if you want. 6-pound fireline is pretty strong. So let me just go through these last few beads. Right there, pull. And then from here, I'm going to go down through the 15-0 on the other side, like that. Pull. And now I'm going to reinforce through these beads. I'm just going to do some half hitch knots. So I'm going to go ahead and advance through the 15-0 across and the next 2 beads. And I'm going to go through my superduos. That might be easier to get your needle through. So I'm just advancing my thread like that. Doesn't matter which way you go. I'm going to go through this superduo and 15-0 like that. I'm going to tie a half hitch knot here. Pull your needle through, form a loop, then bring your needle back through and pull. Go through a couple more beads and do that again. Another half hitch knot here. Pull. And I'm just going to advance through a couple more beads. And a couple more beads. And I'm going to cut this thread off. So let me get this all arranged and I'll be right back. So there you have it, a beautiful pair of Le Petit Trapeze earrings. You can make these in a variety of colors. If you want to use 11-ohs, you can certainly do that. Here's another pair in a bronze color that I did. Very beautiful. These are matte copper dagger beads with olive iris colors, bronze, and jet vitrol superduos. This came out really nice with little hints of green. There's so many different color combinations that you can do. You can also do these in 11-oh seed beads without the dagger beads. And I did a tutorial on that previously of the original design without the daggers, and the beads are a little bit bigger and the earrings are a little bit longer. So I'll include a link to that video in the description box so you can check out that tutorial if you want to make them without the dagger beads. But very simple design, very easy to make. You can do this, well, maybe it takes less than an hour to make a pair of earrings. Beautiful. As I mentioned, this is the original design by a lady named Kassie Shaw from her book, Bead Weaving Beyond the Basics. And I'll include a link to where you can find this book. I think I got it on Amazon, so I'll put a link below, along with a list of the supply vendors that you can get some of these beads from. And also I sell my own jewelry, so I'll have a link to my website, and you can see this and any other beautiful things available if you're interested. Also, if you're not a subscriber, I hope that you do subscribe. Give me a thumbs up, and also leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. It's been awesome doing this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. With that said, have a wonderful day and happy beading, everyone. See you next time.